What's up, lovers of whiskey and watchers of YouTube? I'm the Malt activist, and these are my top 5 underrated whiskeys that you didn't know about. Probably. So the purpose of this video is to shed light on 5 whiskeys that I think have been flying under the radar and that not many people know about it, you know? At least it's not in the popular mainstream, if you like. There might be some on this list that you have already heard of and you do think highly of, in which case, success, because you agree with me, all right? Or there are some on this list that you've never heard of or you've always been wanting to try, and this is just a validation of that opinion. In that case, also success, because then you get to try something that you've either never heard of or you were in two minds and now I've pushed you over the edge. Metaphorically speaking, I don't want to kill my viewers. So these 5 whiskeys I've had in my bar. I've drunk them on many occasions. I think they're wonderful. I don't think they get enough credit in the popular mainstream media, whether it's on YouTube or just whiskey PR, if you like. I don't think they get enough coverage or praise. On top of that, I've made sure that these whiskeys are well under the 100-pound mark so that they are worth the money, that they're good value for money. I think there's probably one whiskey on this list that is maybe slightly more expensive than it should be, in my opinion, but it's such a damn fine whiskey that at some point I think you should be like, you know what, I'll splurge. And I think you should for that whiskey, but not yet. I won't tell you just yet. You're going to have to wait. And the cool thing is, all our videos are timestamped, so at any point you want to scrub through to any other part of the video, feel free to do that. All the timestamps are listed in the description box below. Okay? All right, let's get on with the whiskeys. The first whiskey on our list is from the Loch Lomond Distillery. Now, I came across Loch Lomond a few years ago. It was during a tasting from their brand ambassador, and I'd had tasted a few Loch Lomonds before that, but when I actually sat down to a tutored tasting and I went through their entire range, I believe it was the 212s, there was a 14, there was an 18, and there was one more and I completely forget. I had those whiskeys and I was very pleasantly surprised at the quality of those whiskeys and how delicious those whiskeys were. And I was very surprised that, you know what, I hadn't heard enough of Loch Lomond from either friends or whiskey bloggers or whiskey tubers, and so that sort of set my mind spinning. And I was like, you know what, I think this whiskey definitely needs a bit of recognition. And I believe I've done a few past videos where I've reviewed Loch Lomond as well. Plus, they've also featured in some of my top 5 lists. Like this one, so definitely I think credit where credit is due. Loch Lomond is doing some fantastic work. What do we know about them? It's a distillery built in 1964 in Alexandria, Scotland, and I'm talking about very specifically the Loch Lomond 12 years old. Yes sirree. This 12 years old. Now they have two 12-year-olds. Hold on one second. Here's the other one. Can you see that? So this one on my right is called the Inchmurren, and this is the fruity and sweet flavor profile, whereas this one called the Inchmowan is the smoky flavor profile. So I guess you could get either, though personally between the two I prefer this one, the one with the green label, which says fruity and sweet on it. So this Loch Lomond 12 is the one I'm specifically talking about. Of course, you can get the 14 or the 12 if you like, but this is a good one. This is a good one to start with if you've not had a Loch Lomond or you're curious about it. What do we know about this whiskey? This whiskey is bottled at 46% ABV. It is a mix of 3 casks. We're talking first fill bourbon, refill bourbons, and a recharred I want to say bourbon again, recharred bourbon, and then this is what you get. The good thing is this whiskey is also non-chill filtered. It is natural color, fantastic, but more than anything else, this is available for a lip-smacking 35 pounds. That's it. Just 35 pounds for an age statement, bottled at 46%. That's natural color, non-chill filtered, tasty as hell. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, can you? You really can't. Speaking of flavors, we're talking lemon, fruits, honey, toffee, vanilla, and ginger. So super flavors in here. What you'd expect from a well-matured whiskey. I've drunk it. It has a lovely mouth feel. Thank you, non-chill filtration. Great nose. It drinks wonderfully well on the palate. At 35 pounds, this is something that you can kind of buy every week. You know what I'm saying? And be happy with just drinking this whiskey if that's your jam, okay? I'm not saying just drink one whiskey for the rest of your life. No, I wouldn't say that, but you could if you wanted to, and you'd be hard pressed to find something better than this Loch Lomond at 35 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Beautifully constructed, very tasty whiskey, has all the lovely pedigree around it. You know, it's fantastic. It's a great whiskey. I think you should get it. Super underrated. Not many people talk about it. And if you haven't heard about it, then definitely go out, you know, find it, buy it, drink it. That's what I say. Our whiskey number 2 is from Ireland. I'm talking about the Teeling Single Grain. Look at this. We're talking about the Teeling Single Grain whiskey from the Teeling Distillery. So, what do we know about the Teeling Distillery? Well, it was built in 1782, and it's located in Dublin, and it was founded by Walter Teeling. I wonder if this is a coincidence. I mean, the whiskey is also called Teeling. I'm going to assume it's named after him. Haha. Anyway, so I remember... Oh, by the way, this whiskey... Come on, dude. This whiskey is... Oh, come on, focus. This whiskey is distilled in 2013. Yeah. No. I'm such an idiot. This is bottled. This is bottled in 2013. Not distilled, bottled in 2013. This bottle is a 10-year-old bottle. And I remember, this is back in, I want to say 2012 or 13, when I ordered one of those small 30 ml samples from Master of Malt of the Teeling Single Grain, and it had won an award that year, I believe. I think Best Grain Whiskey. And I remember getting that 30 ml sample from Master of Malt and drinking it and thinking, holy shit, what is this? This is the best whiskey I've ever had in my life. And then I bought a bottle of it, and it was surprisingly cheap. And I was like, oh my God, I was hooked. It was absolutely stunning. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And this particular one, they've been, working and changing the formula a bit over the years. But this particular one is, let me see, is bottled at 46%. It's made using column stills, continuous column stills. This has a mash bill or grain recipe of 95% corn and 5% malted barley. And this particular one has been first matured in bourbon barrels and then finished off in French oak casks that previously held Cabernet Sauvignon red wine from the Napa Valley in California. Yes. So so not only is it an unusual sort of grain recipe, so 95% corn and 5% malted barley, which is unusual in itself, it is also has a very unique maturation in that it has been finished off in French oak casks that previously held Cabernet Sauvignon red wine from the Napa Valley in California. So very, very unique combination of flavor profiles in here. And the best part is this is available for just 42 pounds. Even today, available for 42 pounds, which I think is a steal for a whiskey that is this damn fine. Okay, speaking of flavors, we're talking honey, apples, vanilla, brown sugar, hint of spices, cranberries, and custard. So yeah, all the good flavors in this whiskey. I remember drinking this for the first time, like I said, and being being absolutely blown away by it, and just, you know, ordering bottle after bottle after bottle. And for some reason, I decided to keep this around. I decided to keep this around with me on my shelf for posterity or for nostalgic reasons. I don't know. But yeah, this is my first full bottle of the Teeling single grain that I bought. As you can see, bottled in 2013. It is a non-age statement whiskey, also non-chill filtered and no coloring added. So I'm not sure when this was distilled, probably 5 or 6 years. But maybe a bit more, I don't know. The literature on this is fairly sparse on the ground, so I'm not 100% sure if it's maturation. But still, that doesn't matter. All I know is that at 42 pounds, this is a very, very tasty whiskey. It has very unusual flavor profile. And I think you should get your hands on it. I think you should find it, buy it, and drink it. Yeah. Oh, and you just peel off the label at the back. That's how old this is. That's literally how old this is. Let me put it back. Oh. Okay, forget I tried. I don't know why I try. Yes, so Teeling, single grain, find it, buy it, drink it. Our next whiskey on the list is such an underrated whiskey, and you'll be happy to know that I'm talking about the Glencairn. Yes, this is the Glencairn 10-year-old Highland whiskey. Oh my word. This, when I first came across Glencairn, I was like, what is this? I've never heard of Glencairn. Very few people I knew had heard of Glencairn. So when I bought them, it was purely on a whim. I remember buying the 10-year-old, the 14-year-old, and the 15-year-old. The 14 is now sadly discontinued. Also my favorite, sitting in my bar somewhere over there. I think I can see it. The 15 was just exquisite. I remember I took that to a tasting one day, and everybody just polished that entire bottle off in like 10 minutes. But having said that, we have with us a fantastic contender. This here is the 10-year-old version of the Glencairn, which is, in my opinion, one of the tastiest 10-year-olds you can find in the market. What do we know about the Glencairn distillery? It's built in 1825 and is located in Angus, Scotland. The 10-year-old that we have in our hands is bottled at 46% ABV. It is purely ex-bourbon barrels and non-chill filtered, no coloring added. As you can see, look at that beautiful golden color. So all natural, if you ask me. And the best part, available to you for 42 pounds. 42 pounds for this whiskey is, I think, a steal, especially when you take into account the flavor profile. We're talking salted caramel, honey, vanilla, chocolate, and that oak in the end. So very, very sort of I don't want to use the word typical, but more of a quintessential ex-bourbon matured flavor profile in this. Just everything good that you associate with good bourbon barrels, you will find in this whiskey. And dude, at 42 pounds, I mean, you can't be complaining. You can't be complaining for a whiskey this good that you can buy at 42 pounds. So my suggestion to you is to find it, buy it, and drink it. For whiskey number 4, we climb up the price ladder by a fair amount, but I still think, I still think it's a whiskey worth finding and trying. I'm talking about the Paul John Select Oloroso cask. I cannot praise this whiskey any more than I already have. If you go into my past videos, I've done reviews. It's been in my top 5 contender for the whiskey of the year, and I don't think many people know about it. because it's an Indian distillery out of Goa, built in 2008 by Mr. Paul John himself. And so distribution is very, very, very limited. There's some basic distribution in North America and parts of Europe. So it's not easily available on the ground, unfortunately. But if you do find it, if you can get your hands on it, then holy crap, it is an absolute powerhouse of a whiskey, this one. I absolutely love it. Just top notch. It's bottled at 48% ABV. Matured 100% in Oloroso casks. I don't know if they're first or second fill. I think they're first fill. This whiskey is not very old. It's a non-age statement whiskey. It's not very old. I'll probably say between 4 to 6 years. I think about 5. It is non-chill filtered, no coloring added. And it is one of the more expensive ones on our list. It is available to you for £75. Yes. So I think it's a bit on the higher side. I think you can get it for cheaper. You should get it for cheaper. But hey, I don't know how much freight costs from India to Europe or North America, and then internally trucking it or shipping it wherever, and that adds to the cost. So I don't know. I don't want to justify the £75 price tag. I'm just sharing the price with you. All I'm saying is I think it's an underrated whiskey because it's just absolutely gorgeous. It tastes absolutely amazing, and I don't think many people know about it. But yes, it is available for £75. It is what it is. In terms of flavor profiles, we're talking dark peaches, apricots, dark chocolate, coffee, leather, tobacco, and blood oranges. So you have to drink it. And the reason I don't have a bottle is because I've literally been through like 4 bottles in the last 3 months. Every time I finish one, I get my hands on another one, and then I just promptly finish it off. And people are super surprised when they drink it. And I give it to them blind, and they're like, "Whoa, this is fucking amazing. What is this?" And I'm like, "Guess." And they never guess. And when I tell them, I'm like, "Yeah, dude, this is an Indian distillery out of Goa that's producing stuff like this." And they're like, "Holy shit, you just blew our minds." And that's what I love. That's what I love doing. So yeah. If you've never heard of Paul John, then I suggest find some of their expressions. I think you will like them. But the one to really get your hands on is this Oloroso cask. Paul John Select. Like I said, bottled at 48%. Just absolutely stunning. So please, please find it, buy it, drink it. And now finally, last but not the least, I have with me this Knock-and-Do 18-year-old. Now, I only very recently came into contact with Knock-and-Do, I'm going to say maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Once again, through a tasting with their brand ambassadors, we went through a range of their whiskeys. And the one that really, really stood out for me was this 18-year-old. For some reason, they write slow matured. They write slow matured. I don't know what slow matured means, because if it's 18 years old, it's 18 years old. I mean, it's not slow or fast. It is just matured. Anyway, so I won't butt horns with the marketing and PR department. So it is what it is. But yes, this is an 18-year-old Knock-and-Do. A little bit about the Knock-and-Do distillery. It's built in 1898 and it resides in the village by the same name. So there's a Knock-and-Do village in Scotland where this distillery is built. Our particular bottle is bottled at 43% ABV. It's matured in sherry casks. That's all it says. So I'm going to guess first and second fill Oloroso. And what else? The bottle that I have in my hand has been distilled in 1998. I hope you can see that. 1998. And then I guess we can do the math when it was bottled. Maybe 2017, I'm going to guess. So bottled then. So it's a fairly old bottle, this one. 18 years old. And in terms of the flavor, available to you for £75. So yes, slightly on the higher side in terms of actual money. But dude, it's an 18-year-old whiskey. It is 18 years old. Has an age statement, it's non-chill filtered, no coloring added. Is it? You know what? It doesn't say. So I'm not going to say anything about that because I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is non-chill filtered and no coloring added. So anyway, in terms of flavor profile, it's quite malty. It has nuts, plums, pears, tangerines, vanilla, and brown sugar. And I remember I did a tasting of only 18-year-old whiskeys for my whiskey club a few months ago, and the Knock-and-Do 18 was one of 6 whiskeys that we had on the panel that day, and it came in a very, very, very respectable second place after the Deanston 18, which is probably my favorite find of 2022. I'm going to be honest. It came in a very close second to the Deanston 18, but there's a lot of chatter about Deanston on the whiskey wire, but not so much about Knock-and-Do. And I really wanted to sort of highlight how good this whiskey is. And if you haven't tried it, man, I really think you should go out, find yourself one, and let me know if I am spewing facts or not. So I'm going to leave that up to you. So yes, definitely one of my most impressive underrated whiskeys that is out there, the Knock-and-Do 18. Go ahead, find it, buy it, and drink it. So there you go, man. That was my 5 whiskeys, which I thought not enough people are talking about, and I don't think there's enough, awareness of these whiskeys. And I really felt it was my duty, to be honest, to get these whiskeys out to you so that you can try them for yourself, and hopefully you agree with what I'm saying. That way you get to find something that you were not really looking for, and I think that is success. That is the success we're looking for, right? Getting you guys to try stuff that you probably didn't, think about. So yes, so that's the kind of success I'm looking for. So Knock-and-Do 18, gorgeous dram, beautiful whiskey. I think you should definitely try that. Every whiskey on my list I've had multiple times, and I'm telling you, I love all of them. I love every single one of them. I think the first 3 are super affordable. Really, really affordable at 35, 42 pounds. I think super affordable whiskeys. Can't go wrong with them. We have a couple in the 75 range. I think probably the most expensive one, pound for pound, would be the Paul John Oloroso. But off the lot, that is my favorite whiskey of these 5 that I've spoken about, because it is gorgeous. It is the best. So if it means it sells for 75 pounds, then it sells for 75 pounds, and there's nothing I can do about it. But the other whiskeys have a lot of merit, and you know what? Depending on what kind of mood you're in, if you're in a splashy, splurgy mood, then you can do that. Or if you're in a let me save money for a rainy day type of mood, then the first 3 whiskeys are just absolutely gorgeous and won't break the bank. So there you go, man. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Please, if you're a first-time viewer and you've stayed till the end, it probably means you like this content, you like this kind of stuff. We keep doing this often, so you know what? Be cool and subscribe, man. Subscribe, share, or like, or leave a comment, whatever it is that floats your boat. That would be highly appreciated. For all my returning viewers, thank you for keeping your standards low and keep coming back to this channel. I really, really appreciate it. And finally, of course, to my Patreon gang and my YouTube members, you guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you for everything. There you go, man. There you go. I hope this was fun. I had fun. All right, man. Until next time, I'm the Malt Activist. How do I say this? I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time, peace.